The sheer number of hoaxes that we have been getting with regards to Fallout 4 in the past few years has quite frankly been ridiculous, guys. I can't tell you how many times I've clicked on a link saying Fallout 4 news, Fallout 4 trailer announced, only for it to take me to some sketchy website that was just completely wrong and completely making crap up. And let me tell you, it has been pissing me off. So of course, as you guys could probably understand, when I heard about this new Bethesda announcement, I was a little bit skeptical. But guys, this is the real deal. Finally we have a legitimate trailer for Fallout 4, and finally we have some headway with regards to the sequel to one of the greatest games of all time. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video with the Roshank Redemption, and today I've got a little something different for you guys. Normally on my channel I stick to manga reviews and to video game let's plays, but today I've actually got a Fallout 4 trailer analysis for you guys. You guys know how much of a huge Fallout fan I am. Fallout 3 is of course one of, if not my favorite game of all time outright. So of course when I saw this trailer come out, I just had to do a breakdown of it. So get ready for a pretty long video guys, because I'm going to be breaking down every little detail in this trailer. Alright, so to start things off guys, I just want to say that this trailer felt a little bit different to me than the Fallout New Vegas and the Fallout 3 trailers. I went back and watched those trailers, and I really felt a slight difference between the Fallout 4 and those trailers. I can't completely put my finger on why, but I do have a few ideas which I will discuss later in the video. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about this trailer is that the Lone Wanderer, or the main character, or whatever you want to call him, actually said something in this trailer. And this is surprising to me because in the Fallout 3 and the Fallout New Vegas trailers, the Lone Wanderer didn't say a single word. And if I'm not mistaken, during almost the entirety of those games, for the most part, the Lone Wanderer didn't really say too much. Obviously, you have those dialogue options, but he didn't really seem to, like, you know, actually talk in the manner that an NPC character would. And in fact, I went back and watched the other two trailers in close detail, and I feel like there were a lot more words said by characters in this trailer than in the other trailers. Most of the other trailers I feel like are fairly silent for the most part, but this trailer almost seemed to be a little bit more character based and story driven. Now, to be honest, I'm not really 100% sure how I feel about this, because Fallout isn't necessarily supposed to be a character-based or like a story-driven game, really. It's like an open-world exploration game, but I trust Bethesda, and I'm sure that they'll do things right. Alright, now let's move on to my second point. Now, we don't 100% know exactly what time period this Fallout is going to take place in, and while I don't really have too much hard evidence to back this up right now, I sort of get a feeling that this game will take place much earlier than Fallout 3. Of course, Fallout 3 took place in the late 2200s. I think this game is going to take place maybe even just a couple decades right after the nuclear war. And I do have like one or two reasons why I think this, but I want to save that for later in the video because it actually pertains to another theory that I have, and I sort of want to save the reasons for that theory. Speaking of that theory, let's go ahead and get into that right now. This is actually pretty much the main reason why I made this video. I sort of had an idea with regards to the main character, the Lone Wanderer, whatever you want to call him, while I was watching the trailer, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. And a quick disclaimer here, I do tend to have a bit of an overactive imagination, and I feel like my theories are definitely off base a lot of the time, so take this theory with a grain of salt. It's just an idea I want to throw out there. I'm definitely not saying that this theory is 100% right, but I'm saying that I think it potentially is plausible, and if you guys see any holes in the theory, feel free to leave me a comment and point that out. I love it when people give me feedback. Alright, let's get into the theory. Now, I think that the main character in this game is actually the baby that is shown in the trailer. When the dog is initially walking through that deserted house, you see the parents playing with a baby. You sort of see flashbacks and, you know, the baby's there, and the parents seem to take the baby with them when they hear about the nuclear fallout. And I think that is you in this game. I think the parents potentially escape with the baby into the vault, or maybe they get the baby into the vault and the parents aren't able to escape, or something like that. And then you're actually that baby 20 or 30 years later grown up. And that's why there's the whole opening sequence running from the nuclear bomb. I think that's actually going to be in the game, and they're going to show that, all those people running, except you're going to be a baby and you're going to be, you know, being carried by your father or by your mother. Another piece of evidence to back this up, the Lone Wanderer seems to be walking near that house, and he seems to have sort of a nostalgic look on his eyes. I'm not really 100% sure if I'm reading into that too much, but that's what I seem to see. And I feel like it's not a coincidence that they show that baby with the parents, and they show the main character walking next to that house in the trailer. So that's my theory. Like I said, it's just a theory, and I'm not the best at this kind of stuff. So cut me some slack, take my theory with a grain of salt, let me know what you think. If you guys like it, maybe I could expand on it a little bit more in a different video. But that's what I think with regards to the main character. Alright, another major thing which absolutely has to be addressed with any game: graphics. Now, a lot of people have already been complaining about the graphics right now, and here is my take on this. So far, they definitely do look a little bit disappointing, but I think we've been a little bit spoiled by the graphics of some games. The graphics aren't bad. They're just not, you know, next generation, unbelievable, the next big thing or anything like that. The graphics are pretty decent. They're pretty good. They're just not the best out there. And another important thing to keep in mind is we haven't seen the full game yet, and sometimes it's difficult to get a glimpse of the graphics just from a couple of scenes in the trailer. So who knows, maybe things will look better in the full version, and who knows, maybe the graphics will actually change between now and the release of Fallout. It's unlikely that they'll actually change, but who knows, anything could happen. And finally, Fallout isn't something that you play just for the graphics. I'm currently doing a Fallout 3 LP on my channel, and the graphics are obviously not nearly as good as some of the newer games because it's a 2007-2008 game. The exact year is escaping me, which is a huge fail because I'm a huge Fallout fan, but I digress. It's an old game, the graphics aren't necessarily the best, but it's still incredibly enjoyable because of the open world environment, because of all the little additions that Bethesda has put in. And my point is that just because the graphics aren't the best doesn't mean it's not going to be an incredibly enjoyable game. Bethesda has delivered on all of their games, and I'm sure Fallout 4 will be no exception. Another thing I noticed in this trailer was that there seemed to be a ridiculous amount of vehicles. There were a ton of massive flying ships, and there's this crazy rocket boat and other stuff of that nature. And if you ask me, that is just sick. Vehicles haven't really been a huge thing in Fallout, but if they can introduce vehicles, introduce some, you know, sick ships that you can maybe even fly, that would be really awesome. And I would definitely love to see that. Alright, final thing is the setting of this game. The setting is pretty much confirmed to be Boston. There were a ton of hints in the trailer, but the most obvious thing for me was that they showed a gold dome in the trailer, and that is literally exactly the same as the one in the Massachusetts State House. I'll flash up a picture on the screen right now of the Massachusetts State House and the picture from the trailer, and they're pretty much the same. So Boston, it's pretty much confirmed to be Boston, which is really cool. We did have a ton of rumors about it potentially being Boston, and I didn't really know whether to believe them at the time because they were from fake sites, but it looks like those were accurate. And another rumor said that there is a mission where you go through an institute, which is most likely MIT, which sounds really cool, so maybe that will be confirmed as well. Alright guys, well that's pretty much gonna do it for this trailer analysis. I'm sure there are a ton of things that I missed, and if you guys noticed anything that I did not mention in this video, feel free to leave me a comment and maybe I will include it in a future video. I do want to do another sort of theory video, like a bigger theory video. I did share one theory in this video, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, I do want to do like a bigger theory video at some point. So if you guys can give me suggestions on what you want me to talk about, maybe suggest some of your own theories, I will definitely give credit to you if you suggest your theory. I won't just like snag your theory and be like, this is my theory, muhahaha, or anything like that. That was a terrible evil laugh impersonation. But my point is, guys, I would love to do a theory video, so just let me know what you think of Fallout 4 so far. As usual, folks, thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, rate, and subscribe. The comment question of the day is, what do you guys think of the Fallout 4 trailer so far? I think it's pretty good. There were a couple of disappointments, mainly with the graphics, but I think it's phenomenal. The graphics thing is definitely more of a minor issue, and I am so hyped for this game as a Fallout fan. I have been waiting for this game so long, and it is super nice to see it finally announced. And one more thing, with regards to a release date, we don't really know when it's going to be released. It could potentially be released later this year, maybe, you know, late in the year, like in November or something like that. But if I were to guess, I honestly don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be released sometime next year, hopefully early next year, but it might even be late next year, guys. I feel like in the worst case, it's going to be released 2 years from now, potentially in like 2017, and in the best case, it's going to be released later this year. I'm hoping that sometime early next year. I feel like that's a good bet. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.